on or about June 16th of 2024, you did knowingly make an open or indecent exposure of your person while fondling your genitals in a public area.
I do not identify. I identify as the beneficiary that is here to protect Derek Stringer. I said, how do you charge a dead entity, sir?
I'm sorry, say that again?
How do you charge a dead entity, sir? And
it just happened right before your eyes. Good luck to you.
We're about to go to war.
This court hearing goes completely off the rails almost immediately as Judge Urich, who clearly doesn't play any games, takes on a sovereign citizen who seems either to be pretending to be unstable or genuinely not all there, after being charged with 2 counts related to public indecency when he was caught fooling around with junk in a public park. So drop your thoughts in the comments on whether you think he's acting or actually unhinged. And if you enjoy content like this, make sure to like and subscribe as we jump right into it.
Mr. Stringer does not acknowledge or consent to this hearing. Is that correct, Mr. Stringer?
I do not identify. I identify as the beneficiary that is here to protect Derek Stringer.
Very well, Mr. Stringer. The court is going to read the charge into the record since the formal reading is not waived. Mr. Stringer, on or about June 16th of 2024, you did knowingly make an open or indecent exposure of your person while fondling your genitals in a public area, contrary to the statute so made and provided at Michigan Compiled Law 750.335A, subparent 2, subparent B. The court advises you that this is referred to as a Tier 1 offense under the Sex Offender Registry Act. There is a count 2 misdemeanor in that on the same date you did knowingly make an open or indecent exposure of your person contrary to the statute so made and provided at Michigan Compiled Law 750.335A, subparent 2, subparent A, commonly known as indecent exposure.
Sir, excuse me, sir. You have not talked to my beneficiary yet. You have not talked to the person who owns the estate yet.
Mr. Angot, the court is making a notation of court-appointed counsel to run through the IDSO office, and that new counsel, as appointed by Mr. Mena, can make whatever judgments they wish to make and make any motions they wish to make at Mr. Stringer's first probable cause conference. Mr. Stringer, this matter is now being set for a probable cause conference. That will be on a new date. The law entitles you to what they refer to as a preliminary examination within 21 days of this arraignment today.
He also has a lengthy criminal history out of Texas, going from as recent of these warrants, which were entered last year, back to around 2015, receiving charges for evading arrest and detention, unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon, assault, family, house member, impeding breath or circulation, several other assault charges, a weapons charge, and then also like falsifying assault from 2019 out of Markwood Woods, which looks like it was deferred as assaulting a public officer or obstructing.
Judge, despite the fact of these charges and what was listed by the detective, I believe that with the GPS tether, that certainly would give this court, pretrial services, and any other entity overseeing Mr. Stringer during the pendency of this matter, notice of where he would be within 3 feet, is my understanding, with that tether. I don't think a cash bond is necessary. I would ask the court to give him a personal bond with the GPS tether.
Given everything that's before the court at this time, the court will set bond in the amount of $50,000, cash or surety, no 10% allowed at this time.
I've got to say this judge is extremely good at what he does, because I've watched other judges try to handle these sovereign citizen types and they either get visibly frustrated or end up wasting a ton of time. But Judge Urich shuts the nonsense down almost immediately, and if we're being honest, the way he points out the contradictions in their arguments is low-key hilarious, as he has this subtle but effective way of completely shutting them down, and honestly the $50,000 bond is a very solid decision too, since this guy already has multiple felony charges and is still young, meaning he absolutely does not need to be back out on the streets anytime soon, and while hopefully he can turn himself around, I genuinely don't know, because he actually comes off as mentally ill, yet I still can't tell if he's putting on an act or not. So what do you guys think? Let's get back into it.
If Mr. Stringer wishes to bring various motions before the examining judge and That could include a motion to modify his bond. That is his right and his privilege, but at this time, that is the bond as set by this court. Mr. Stringer, that concludes your arraignment, sir.
Sir, so I can't get out on a personal bond?
That's correct, Mr. Stringer. You cannot get out on a personal bond. 50,000 cash or surety with the appropriate conditions that were already listed by the court. That completes your arraignment, sir.
Sir, so what is going on with the, what is going on? Right?
I'm sorry, sir?
I'm being charged. I'm being charged with entity that is.
Can you please move up so the court could hear you?
I said, how do you charge a dead entity, sir?
I'm sorry, say that again?
How do you charge a dead entity, sir? And
It just happened right before your eyes. The court has jurisdiction over you, sir. Venue and jurisdiction have been established by sworn testimony. That completes your arraignment. Good luck to you.
We're about to go to war.
I don't know if you guys caught that during the second hearing, but he literally said we're about to go to war, which has to be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard anyone say to a judge, because if I were on the bench I would have hit him with contempt immediately, but now we're about to jump into his second hearing in front of a completely different judge who does not hold back at all. This one gets extremely heated. So let me know what you thought about the first hearing and let's go ahead and dive right into the second one.
All right, Mr. Stringer, state your name.
I don't acknowledge myself as Lynn Stringer. I'm a living entity.
Okay, is there another name that you go by, sir?
A living entity, I am the beneficiary, so I go as a job. And I want to fire that counsel. I don't want him.
All right, so there's a number of things to unpack here. All right, so let's walk through this. So did he make it known to you that he wished to no longer proceed with your services?
Judge, we discussed the case fully, and I had a lengthy phone call with one of his relatives, and it was my intention to ask the court to refer this to the Forensic Center for a competency evaluation.
I do think it, given your experience and then your connection with him as well as a family member, plus the way the defendant has presented today, that a competency review is in order, and so I'm happy to move forward with that. So, Mr. Stringer, there is, just so you understand, there has been some preliminary information that suggests that you may not be competent to proceed at this particular time. Whether that's a correct assertion is basically a decision that can only be made after an investigation is done to determine whether or not you can, that you understand the nature of the proceedings, that you can assist your attorney. We need to find those things out. And so, Ms. Mott-Lewis, can you prepare an order for competency review?
Do you guys think this competency review judge is making the right decision by placing this defendant under an incompetency review? Because if you didn't know, when a defendant tries to get rid of their defense attorney, it can become a massive issue for the court if they're mentally incompetent, since without legal counsel they can't properly defend themselves. Even though this guy believes he's some kind of genius, it's pretty clear he's mentally ill, and it only drags everything out while potentially violating his right to a fair trial, which could even result in all of his charges being dismissed. And if he doesn't understand the charges or the legal process, it's basically like trying to play chess without knowing the rules, total chaos. So let's get back to it.
I'm going to wait to consider that request until I can determine whether or not he's competent. If I would remove Mr. Sanutko off the file, if I would remove him off the file based on a request made by a person who's later determined to be incompetent, I think that would be a real issue. And so at this point in time, I'm going to grant the request.
What labels, excuse me,
Evaluation.
What labels me incompetent? My intelligence, because I have a high IQ?
No. That's not it, sir. There are different legal standards, but really it comes down to whether or not you can understand the nature of the proceedings at this time, that you have the ability.
I overstand the nature of the proceedings.
That you have the ability to assist your attorney in your defense.
To withdraw, sir. I do not want my legal counsel. Actually, he did not reach out to the person that my relative told him to reach out to my father, and he didn't do that. My father was going to tell him that we wanted him to withdraw. He did not reach out to my father. He only reached out to Stephen Taylor. Stephen Taylor gave him my father's number. He did not do that. So I would like him to withdraw from my case, sir. I have no. So he isn't competent enough for me, honestly.
I'm almost certain this competency review is going to come back showing that this guy is mentally ill, because he's stacked up so many felony charges already, and it honestly feels like the cycle is just going to keep repeating. And don't get me wrong, I'm fully in favor of giving people second chances, but it really seems like he's already burned through an entire pile of them. And truthfully, I can't tell whether he's genuinely mentally ill or just acting like a typical sovereign citizen who believes he's somehow above the law, although the fact that he was caught messing with himself in public definitely makes me lean toward him being a little unhinged. So what do you guys think? Did the judges in this hearing handle everything the right way? Because personally I think they did and handled it as best as they could, though maybe holding him in contempt might have shifted his attitude a bit, I'm not sure. So drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoy content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching and take care.